This is Kristen, and I'm here with Gravehuffer. How are you guys today?
Real good. Doing well.
Yeah,
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. So tell me, guys, who all do we have here today?
I'm Richie Randall. I play guitar.
I'm Mike Gilgy. I play bass.
James Heiser, vocals.
And Casey's on his way. He should have already been here, but camera's always kind of late.
He was an hour away, too. So.
Well, we'll cut him some slack then.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, looks like you guys are working on a new release. So tell me about that.
Sure. Yeah. What we're doing, we're actually, we might try to start recording some bass guitar today. Drums and vocals done. And it's a 7-inch EP. We're going to a 2-song EP. And each song has its own artwork and everything, so it's kind of like a double A-side single or something. And that's going to be out on No Slip Records late. I'm guessing late spring this year. So, and there's going to be like a 3-color variant vinyl, like splatter, smoky, and then like a black and white swirl design. So they're putting a lot of time and effort into it. So it's going to be really cool.
Most definitely. So is it new songs that you guys are releasing, or is it a re-release of material that you already have out there?
That's a new song.
That'll be awesome. So tell me a little bit about what we're going to see on that album. Give us a little preview.
Well, we got 2 songs. One of them is called Stalingrad's Cross, and that's about, we're all kind of history buffs, and especially like World War II era, anything like that. I think this is our third or fourth song about World War II, but it's about the Battle of Stalingrad, obviously. And it's just kind of interesting subject material, I think. The art that goes with it's incredible. I like it. It's really like definitely sells it, like brings it home, kind of. And then the other song is a song called Demon Face, which is just kind of a interesting little obscure story that a lot of people don't really know about. A guy named Edward Mordrake, 1800s, and very little is known about him. But he had a conjoined twin basically in the back of his head, and it's like obviously a really rare condition. And it's just with a face, but it had a full formed eyes, nose, and mouth. And people would say that it would like talk like gibberish, but Edward would swear that it would say like recognizable things to him and keep him up at night. He swore the thing was like satanic basically and from hell. Nobody could cut it off of him without killing the guy. I think he was 23 and he ended up poisoning himself and killing himself. But it's just one of those really weird stories in history that there's not a lot known about it, but you know, it's always kind of like one of those how much of it's legend and how much of it's actual fact, but there's not a lot known about the guy. But it's kind of, we like to write stuff about that. I feel like history's always been one of our favorite things to write about. Anyway, anyone else?
Who did all the, Carl did the Demon Face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's the guy's name that did the...
Dahmer Art did the Demon Face art. This guy, Carl Dahmer. And then the other guy, he was a German artist. His name is Bjorn Grasses. I'm not sure I'm probably butchering his name. But it's Bloodstyle. What's the name of the art place he has? Like Bloodstyle Artworks or something to that effect. But he uses a lot of stippling in his technique, so it's a completely different kind of style, but it fit really well.
That sounds awesome. Like, I can't wait to see what you guys release. But yeah, I did hear of that Edward Mordrake story. That's definitely a crazy one. So did you guys do any like research on writing that song?
Yeah, there's a few just like mini documentaries you can watch on like YouTube. There's not a whole lot about the guy. He was I guess actually like noble lineage. He was supposed to be like a duke or something like that. He just kept his whole life. He tried to seclude himself as much as possible. But you know, it's just one of those, again, just kind of weird, curious stories you don't hear about in school.
Exactly.
Right.
Do you think it's real? Do you think that really happened?
I think he existed, and I think he had the conjoined twin. I mean, there's been a few documented cases of that, you know. But as far as, you know, was it actually like coherent? I mean, the things that it said to him, and that, you know, I think a lot of that's like legend that surrounds something that's with a seed of truth. You know what I mean?
Right. Certainly something had to happen or be said to get it started.
Right.
Exactly.
Do you find that you guys, in a lot of your music, do you kind of touch on kind of macabre themes or kind of urban legends? Is that something that you kind of see as a theme that reoccurs?
It may be. If so, I don't think it's anything we've planned. But honestly, it's all over the place with a lot of the songs that we've had, and I guess some people might consider that a bad thing, but I don't know. I've never really wanted to write about one certain kind of. We don't want to pigeonhole ourselves, you know. So it's really all over the place. I have some more stereotypical metal lyrics just because that might fit the song, and it's, you know, sometimes kind of fun to write that. You know, we have a song, Kill for Sport, and that's about loosely based on the serial killer Henry Lee Lucas, and it's pretty violent and macabre, but I don't see myself wanting to do that all the time. And also, like, Mike has given me suggestions for to write lyrics on, you know, like skateboarding and things like that too. So it's definitely always been kind of all over the place for us. We got a review one time. It said it was kind of talking shit because it said something along the lines of, well, these guys are all over the place and going to need to find something and stick with it. And I just thought, like, I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and is that variety, is that mainly a lyrical thing where you explore a lot of different lyrical contents, or was that reviewer, or do people find that musically you really go from really different spectrums?
I think that review was kind of saying both.
Both.
Yeah,
musically and
right, and but not really in a nice way. I didn't understand it.
Well, he said that we hadn't found our sound yet, you know. And we're like, dude, we're in our 40s. I think we found our sound.
Right.
Right.
I think we know what we like. You know?
Right.
It's just because we all have different tastes and we all kind of write a little bit, so it all gets put into the song. You know?
Right.
And if you're having a good day, then it might be a little bit more melodic. If you're having a bad week and you get to band practice, you just want to beat the shit out of your guitar, then it's going to be really fast and crazy. You know?
I thought you were going to say your guitarist.
Right. Now, you guys formed your band in 2008. So what has changed with your music? I mean, that's been, you know, over a decade now. What kind of evolution do you think you guys have had in your writing?
Well, I think James's lyrics have gotten a lot better.
Thanks.
Like, it used to be he'd write like a couple of verses and then they'd kind of repeat.
Yeah.
But now, it's like the whole song is a story and just changes.
Right.
I don't think the only thing he really repeats now is maybe a chorus or two. And the rest of it, he's actually put work into it, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's just like, we want to do a song, we're like writing this music. I'm like, hey, I want to do a song about Evil Knievel. You know, it's like one of my heroes. James didn't know anything about Evil Knievel, so I just told him everything that I knew about Evil Knievel. And he took all that and wrote that song. You know, it was like doing a damn book report or something.
That's cool. Now I really do like Evil Knievel. He turned me on to it. I just didn't know that much about him before, but yeah, it's rad dude.
It is. His songs are kind of like book reports now.
That's hilarious.
Well, you guys come from having a lot of different musical influences. Talk to me about some of your influences.
Man, like Mike was saying, they are pretty much, they run the gamut, I guess. Like, I think a lot of it is like each individual member kind of leans towards a particular genre. Like, I'm pretty metal centric, but I also enjoy playing the punk rock and like some of the hardcore punk stuff. Mike he leans more in the punk direction, but then he also likes some of the extreme metal and grindcore and stuff like that. And James is, he's a little. I mean,
I'm a little bit of both. Like
yeah.
I have two kinds of music that I like the most, and that's either really heavy or really weird. But my favorite kind of music is really heavy, weird music.
Right.
I like stuff that doesn't sound like everything else. That's the kind of shit I really like.
Well, that and like some of the like more cheeky stuff too. I mean, we have a few songs here and there that are just a little more lighthearted and humorous. And sometimes the metal community doesn't really know how to take that. I feel like.
Right.
They're like,
is that a joke song?
Yeah,
it's like, well, here, you can try to play it. You tell me if it's a joke.
Right, yeah, we're playing about 300 beats a minute here, and all these chords are all over the place, and so here's my guitar, give it a shot.
Yeah.
But I mean, not trying to brag, but it's like, well, it's not a joke. We're still putting 100% of us into it. Maybe it's just a different feeling. That's really all it is.
Right. Do you think that diversity kind of confuses fans, or do you think that like your fans like really dig that?
Well, to me, I would dig it. Like if you think like back in the day, we're not the first band to do this. Like look at Sabbath. So they had songs that were just like ballads. They're all over the map too.
Right.
But no one gave them shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Or like so many bands. We looked at Bad Brains, a punk band. They would like be blowing your face off with this really fast punk. Then they'd turn around and play a reggae song and let everybody chill for a little bit. Then get right back into it with more punk.
And it was both convincing. Like the reggae was some of the best reggae there was.
It was from them and from their heart. It wasn't them like
crying.
If we were like saying, okay, we're going to try to do a Napalm Death song. Now we're going to try to sound like Creed. Like that's like poser, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be playing in a fucking playing in a band like that.
Right.
I don't care how much money it was. If we weren't into it, I'm not playing it.
Right. It's just stupid.
I think sometimes, it's like I try not to come off as like like dismissing and so like a lot of bands, but there's just a lot of paint by number bands out there, and it's you always get the. I hate it when I'll meet somebody and they ask you what kind of music you like, and they'll say like, well, metal or whatever, and then the very first thing they shoot back, like Disturbed. I'm like, no, not like Disturbed. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. That makes me sound like a dick, kind of, and I apologize to anyone who likes Disturbed. Like, that's cool, it's whatever, but it's, what I mean. That's not the kind of metal that I want to represent. I'll tell you that much, or the kind of music I want to represent, I should say.
Dang.
Man, I'm mean.
Well, certainly I think major media and social media come into play a lot with kind of the labeling of things as being, this is stoner rock, and this is doom metal, and this is, punk. Like, that kind of came, I think, from marketing.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm actually reading, I just got to say this real quick. One of my favorite bands personally has always been Faith No More. And I'm reading a book about them right now. And it's, again, like, no matter what they try to do, there is always somebody from the outside trying to lay, like, you're a metal band, and that's how we're going to promote you. Or you're a rap funk band. And they're just like, man, we just want to be a band that makes music. And you can call it whatever you want. And I don't know, that kind of resonates with me. Like, I like that approach when people have that.
Most definitely. So tell me what else you guys are working on here the first half of 2019. Anything else that we should keep on our radars?
Well, we're going to finish up this EP, and then we're just going to start writing for the next record. And we're going to be playing shows. We're going to try to expand our reach, to other states and things. We probably are not going to do any full-blown tours necessarily, but we might try to do a few shows in a row outside our normal, area.
And we've been playing a lot further away from home.
Yeah, we're trying to play, not just an hour or two away. We'll go 4 or 5 hours, or wherever.
6 or 8 hours.
Wherever, whoever will have us. And but yeah, we've got some really cool stuff lined up. A couple of shows that I can think of off the top of my head. On Groundhog Day, we're playing in Tulsa at this place called Badass Renee's. And then on April 20th, there's a 420 Fest that we're playing in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And then the big one is the Topeka Metal Fest, and that is September 21st and 22nd, or I'm not exactly sure on the date, but it's a 2-day thing at the Jayhawk Theater in Topeka, Kansas. And 106.6 The Blast actually helped get us in touch with the promoters and the people putting that show on, so we want to give them a big shout out.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Will is the man.
Yeah, Will was the man.
I was gonna say, so we won't have any shows, I don't think, coming up till February. We're gonna be spending a lot of time practicing with the new drummer and trying to get as tight as possible with him, working on some new stuff and dusting off some old stuff that a lot of people haven't heard.
Right.
Maybe a lot of people haven't heard us play it, period.
Right.
And I'm kind of looking forward to that. We're going to be taking some stuff off the first album, and I think we're actually going to be working on some of that today when Casey gets here. But so yeah, I'll be looking forward to that, guys.
Casey.
Honestly, Richie, there's ways to get all. Richie does all of our social media and all that good stuff. I don't do any of that because whatever. But if anybody has some requests or from stuff off the first album, man, let us know. I mean,
I've never really thought
people
about
asking for Reach Around Ramble and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot lately, so I figured I'd throw that in the mix.
Right.
And I hate playing that song.
Yeah, so everybody asked for that.
You asshole. It's so long, dude.
It's like under 3 minutes.
I know. All right. I like songs that are like 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
Most definitely. Well, it sounds like you guys have quite the exciting year coming up. We'll look forward to the release of the new EP. That sounds really cool. And then, to bringing out some of your old songs that you haven't played in a while. I'm sure that everybody's really excited to hear those as well. And so for new fans coming on, people who maybe be at this show or be at the Topeka Metal Fest are going to get to really see you guys for the first time, what do you want people to know about your music?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
That we play from the heart. Like this is like I guess we wear our band on our sleeve. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's conviction. Like, we've been, not that we're, amazing or that we're in that we're not, but we've been plugging that along in this for a long time without really any monetary gain or anything like that. It's never been about that for us. I think we realized that it's the wrong genre if you're thinking you're going to make $1 million.
Or just the music business period.
Well, or just the music business period.
Like life.
So it's like we're doing it because we really love to do it. And it's had its ups and downs, to be sure. I mean, these last, 11 years, man, there's been a lot of ups and downs. So that's life. I think that's maybe hopefully made our music better. Whatever, I like to say, anything that we might, if you come and see us, we have some screw-ups, whatever, anything we lack in finesse, I hope we make up for in enthusiasm.
Perfect, man.
Well, from the music that you guys have shared with me, it's killer. So I definitely think that you guys will play a killer show and that fans will really love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I know Big Will's a fan, and, he's had you guys play and on the show and different things. And, we're happy to get some of your music also in the River Bottom Radio show as well. Now, for anybody that's out there listening and they don't already know, where on social media or what websites, where can we find you guys? Where can we find your music? Where can we buy it?
I always like to direct people to the Bandcamp, gravehuffer.bandcamp.com. That's going to get you anything as far as music, merchandise, downloads, all that kind of stuff. So We just released our latest album, Your Fault, on vinyl, and we're actually here right now packaging up the pre-orders today. So we got a pretty full plate actually today. But yeah, we're doing that, and you can pick up a copy on Bandcamp of that, and we're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, pretty much all the social media sites and stuff. So if you just type in Gravehuffer on Google, you'll find pretty much everything. I mean, there's pretty much only one thing associated with Gravehuffer, and that's the band. So the uniqueness and originality of the name does help.
Like, if it tries to take you somewhere else, I want to go to that site. If it's not the band, I don't want to know.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing everything with me today. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the fans or the listeners out there?
We appreciate you. That's the main thing. People like you and everyone has to do it just for the love of it.
Right, helping spread the word for us, and we appreciate the support.
Support your local scene.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have one.
And if you don't have one, make one, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Most definitely. Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. Definitely appreciate it, and we'll look forward to the new music and the shows that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for your time.